Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the person standing between the lunch. So I think, let me give you a quick brief about me. I'm Saurabh. I head the technology vertical for Tata Strategic Management Group. You heard Abhishek, my colleague, sometime back. We are India's largest consulting firm, largest Indian-owned consulting firm. What we do is that part of our job, while we do a lot of consulting solutions for various clients, but the part of our job is to predict and identify trends early. And I think over the next 10 minutes, and I'll keep it short, I will show you some trends that we already see, which are obviously technology related in the supply chain space. One of the good things that you should look forward in this presentation is that there are some good ideas that have already been shown in this space. And typically before lunch, they are good appetizer. So what I want to leave you today after this presentation is with a lot of ideas what you can do in this space. So let me set the context right. So I think we all have what you call a correct paradox, and it is there in our lives in various forms, that we want it all. We want to create the largest startup that was ever created, but do we really want to leave our comfortable jobs? Maybe not. We want to have heaven, but are we really ready to die early? Maybe not. And I think I want to lose a lot of weight and I want to start exercising, but I think if I could only control my lunch, probably I'm helping that part today. So I think that's the same thing that is there in supply chain also. All companies want to choose responsiveness versus effectiveness. So let me give you the concept of the same. If you are not aware, I want things to be delivered very, very fast. And that's what customer wants. And on the other hand, customer wants customization, wants a certain size of units to be provided. All that effectiveness needs to be built in. How do we do that? Conventionally, we have been doing either of the two. All organizations that you speak with, who we have handholded in various, during our course of last 25 years of existence, what we see that you choose one. There is not an optimum balance which you are able to attain. And as a person who is responsible for leading technology, I can say that technology enables that balance. So what does technology enables in this space also is that you can have best of both the worlds. So let me showcase how. To set the context, what are the key technologies that are being used in the supply chain right now? There is a lot of data, and it got so huge we started calling it big data. I think the nomenclature will change and will get further big data. There's a lot of artificial intelligence from the gaming that I used to play during my MBA times. It has come into the real business. A lot of solutions have been talked about. I have some examples to showcase that. There's a lot of connectivity. While the connectivity is one part of it is a mobile connectivity with one incumbent operator totally disturbing the market. But I think the connectivity at large with IoT devices, prices dropping, the more and more technologies coming in a B2B space, I think the connectivity is increasing, and so is the impact on IoT. I think the cloud, the very important aspect with the cloud space is that you really don't have to invest in the extensive hardware. What it takes, the cost of doing a pilot and the later replication has drastically reduced. With some of the security issues being addressed too, I think the cloud has emerged as one of the key reasons what we see happening in supply chain. And the last piece is augmented reality. We are able to augment a lot of aspects associated with the orders, and we have been able to fulfill that, and there are a lot of other aspects associated with that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to say that these fancy technologies, I'm going to come up with 5 examples where we see some of these technologies already been used. It's important to identify that these are the people who are identified in a technology space called early adopters. They set the platform for others to follow. So it's very important to see what are the early adopters are doing in this space. And we have 5 trends to talk about that. The first trend that I'm talking about and has been talked a lot in the past also is how can you anticipate what is going to be ordered by your customer. The technology obviously that is used here is big data analytics. A very interesting example I would like to quote here. Amazon has been using this extensively, but somebody from before my started saying that we have to go from predictive to prescriptive. I think there's an important step that has been taken in this regard. Amazon even is able to estimate what is going to be your next order even before you actually know it. So there are extensive amount of prediction that is used. In fact, I remember talking to somebody in Facebook at some point in time when analytics, and Facebook is one of the incumbents who used analytics a lot better and a lot more efficiently before anybody actually got into it. And that's partially the reason for their adoption. So I was talking to somebody in that space, and he said that at one point in time, there was an algorithm, and then they still use it. Facebook can predict your breakup 6 months before it actually happens. So well, that was an extreme example, and I think the part of the matter, okay, so while the algo made sense, and I could actually understand, we got into the details of how do they do that. In fact, one of the initial friend requests that they used to show is that you were related to that person in the past. They will keep showing that person as a friend request in Facebook. They actually built upon that algorithm not to do that because it was leading to a lot of dissat. Coming back to the Amazon example, what they do is that based upon your past trend and accumulative inputs in terms of an area, they put an algorithm in place where they're able to anticipate that these are the people that stay in this area. They will need these kind of orders in next 15 days, and they are able to shorten the cycle of delivery. If the order quantity is required 100, at least they are able to keep about 80 there, so that for a majority of a customer, you are able to provide the efficient part. The important element to identify here is that the cost of delivery reduces, as well as the efficiency of delivery also gets impacted. So both the parameters that I talked about, both are getting addressed here. The second example that I want to talk about is the Uber rush, and I think Uber, go to any conference, Uber is extensively talked about. But I think Uber rush is a different concept which we need to understand. Is that it's very important when we talk about a technology solution, we get out of our office and look at what are the options around. A lot of the solutions are from the other industries that exist into this ecosystem. In order to keep the cost low, a lot of companies are using something called an Uber rush, which helps you save the two-way cost. You can figure out a cab or a logistic van going in that particular area, can deliver your stuff accordingly. Keeping it low cost, you only pay for the one side. And obviously, you can almost provide it real-time delivery. And so again, the balance has been maintained with the help of a technology and existing solution in the market. Coming to my third example, I have kept a variety of examples so that it can be picked up of various kind of industries. This is an example from Adidas, from a sports industry. What they started doing is that as the ecosystem evolves, the customization in the shoes is also emerging. They deliver a standard product into the stores, and they're using the space in the store itself as micro production sites. The last mile connectivity with the help of the printers being available, the type of the technology being available at the store, you can actually customize your own shoe. And that has been delivered delivered and customized at the last end. Again, a fine example of customized being delivered, delivering what you want in the shortest possible time. Keeping that thinking hat on, and that's another example we're talking about. And I think as a trend, you will see, we already see in India itself, a lot of online stores have gone to an offline model. I think the concept started with the due credit to Lenskart, but I think it has caught fancies of various other brands, including Mom and Me and some of the other brands also been using that. And we predict that will happen more in India. But it's slightly a different step. You stay digital, yes, you stay digital, yes, you yet to come into a physical world by using a technology of IoT. This is where I'm talking about Amazon Dash. What it does is that you keep this small sensor attached to a refrigerator, aligned to the fact that whenever I dab on this sensor, it orders me a grocery of certain types. It can be very much a surf or a detergent that I want for my machine. How many times it really happens that I want to have an order placed to Amazon, but Amazon loses it to a retailer nearby because I forgot to order it at the right time. Happens with me when I started ordering diapers from Amazon. And we will end up paying those 100 rupees extra, which will be a typical margin that you will pay a retailer next door. So now Amazon addresses that. One is obviously it addresses it with the part by saying a single day delivery, Prime membership, working on logistic, investing heavily on having warehouses nearer to the Prime location. But one is with the help of a technology. You will not forget, because all you need to do is when you're getting to a refrigerator or a washing machine, you just have to do this dab and it will be ordered. And it uses then a very simple Wi-Fi infrastructure available at home. So that's a fine example of sensor and IoT. And as we know, the sensor and IoT devices are getting cheaper day by day. The last one, and I think, what is the world without Google goggles? And I wanted to see what you see is what you believe. This is a very example of a DHL, where we are using a similar kind of a technology, which is based upon augmented reality. It is assisting, and guys, let me tell you that as I speak with various industries in India itself, wearables in the workspace, in terms of whether workers wearing it, robotics, assisting some of the workers in picking augmented reality is going to be a next big thing. And we were not surprised if that is what came out in the survey that we did. While we believe that this is sometime far away when we look at from sitting into our rooms, when you go actually and meet with these people, a lot of them are already talking about it, investing about it. In fact, we have personally seen a lot of pilots. I was in a couple of days, I was in one of the nearby workshops in Mumbai itself, and the possibilities that 3D printing has brought in today's world were immense, and that was all happening in India. So I think what it does in this piece is that DHL uses the smart glasses, and where instead of manually picking up every product, scanning the barcode, then putting it, sometimes doing a manual error, sometimes the barcode does not read. In this case, augmented reality was used. A major part of it could be reached by the glasses of the worker. Okay, and as it would drive efficiencies, they could see a 25% increase in productivity of the workers. So these are some of the technology solutions and as an ideas I wanted to leave with you. But a typical question comes. Whenever I leave a lot of people with ideas and dreams. They say, Saurabh, you talk big, a lot of ideas, great things to talk about. Are they really happening? Will it have an impact? So the last slides before I leave you, I think I wanted to talk about some of the trends and that has already been talked about. They are not away. And I think if you really want to build the gap with your foreign counterparts in the space and you want to be equally competitive, you would have to adopt them. Because otherwise, others are already doing that. Chatbots. As we speak, by 2020, as per Gartner, there will be a 85% interaction that will be handled by 2020. We can debate whether it will be 50%, whether it will be. I come from a telecom background. I can tell you the cost of serving a customer on a call has become extensively high. And chatbot, and that is only to address the queries. Chatbot also helps you in terms of converting those conversion. People who come on your website, how to convert them into actually the actual customers. So 85% is Gartner estimate. You can put anything lesser than that, but it's still a very significantly high number. Your customer touch point, your website, where you interact with your suppliers, various other places, you can use the chatbot to your advantage. The second part where I'm talking about is the autonomous delivery. A lot of people say still some time away. Yes, it is. There's no two ways about it. But please understand what happens 10, 15 years down the line. 5 years down the line, the chips will start going in. The technology will evolve. We would have to make it integrate into your business plans. We already see a 5%, a significant large number of autonomous delivery already happening by 2020. Sometime away, but you better be. So as a speaker before me said, it is in phases. But this is one thing you should need to be closely observing. I think the work can start from automating some part of your factory robotics. Some kind of small robots which can deliver, move your inventory seamlessly between the chain. The second part and the autonomous piece is that the drone delivery, as and when the licensing part of it and the various other regulatory aspects get cleared with drones. But I already see a lot of companies developing quality drones in delivery service. Obviously, the users will be much more from surveillance to delivery, but I think that's one trend that will emerge. Worldwide, the opportunity will be about $82 billion by over next 10 years. Again, has been put up by one of the key research agencies. Artificial intelligence would, again, companies are investing heavily. We were engaged in a project in one family-owned business, and we saw that even they are talking about how can they reduce. So in fact, in various automobile company, the actual testing on ground, which is the physical testing, is only primarily because of certification. Most of their crash testing is done in the artificial space, and that leads to a lot of cost saving and obviously the faster turnaround time. The last one, very close to my heart. I think as much as there is too much of data and we kind of get lost, but the insights that data will generate would lead to much more efficiencies, and experts believe that it will climb to about 70% over next 2 years. So these are the things that I wanted to leave you with. And as the owner of Amazon really said a lot of other things which he keeps quoting on. One of the things that he quoted, and I want to quote here, and he says, there are two kinds of companies, those that work to try to change more and those who work to charge less. Guys, charging less is not cheap. Charging less also comes from the efficiencies that you drive from your business by using technology as an advantage. And that is a consistent requirement by the customer that will always stay. On that account, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed. Thanks to the organizers, and thank you so much. My details to reach me are very much on the site. We'd love to hear from you on any trends that you think that needs to be picked up and discussed in the lunch break after that. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Saurabh. Is Ratnesh in? Ratnesh from Zebra Technologies? Okay, in that case, we'll break for lunch and let's try to reconvene at 2:35. Thanks. Procurement for digital disruption in the supply chain. Our speaker is Amit Verma, Senior VP and Head of Business Service Procurement for Reliance. Amit.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like everything that's going delayed over here, I think the update to my designation is also a little delayed. I used to do the role of indirect procurement, and there's a very interesting story around there. But now I look at digital transformation for procurement, contracting, stores, and inbound supply chain. That's my role. So very interestingly, in my earlier role in direct procurement, uh, I was challenged day in, day out by the Ubers of the world, of the Amazons of the world, where a user could buy, a cab service or stationery or anything that they needed very easily for their personal lives, but they had to go through, a huge list of rules and regulations and processes to actually do the same thing over here. And 5 years ago, it was easy for us to justify saying that these rules and processes are necessary for control, for getting a better price. But Amazon changed all of that. Price, delivery, control, visibility, it's all better in those systems versus the company systems today. So fortunately, when I kept raising my hand and saying we need to adapt, we need to change things, I was given this job, which makes it even more tougher. So very quickly, Reliance Industries is a very big company. I'll take a minute to share what we do and what I do. Reliance Industries has three big verticals. One is oil and gas. In oil and gas, we do refining and marketing, petrochemicals, exploration and production. And the second vertical is retail. You must have seen a lot of brands out there of retail that we have: Reliance Fresh, Vision Express, Reliance Jewels. So a whole host of formats in Reliance Retail. And third is our telecom venture, which is Reliance Jio. So I belong to the hydrocarbon space, the oil and gas space, which is refining, petrochemicals, and E&P. And what I look at is, digital transformation of the PNC part there. So again, thank you so much, for making it after lunch. Through the morning and through yesterday, all of us have sat through a lot of presentations given by, specialists in the industry who are consultants, people who have driven analytics, people who are providing technology solutions. And what I hope to do is to give you a perspective from probably the most important person in that whole chain, the person who's buying that solution, and take you through the confusion we have within our organizations, how we're trying to adapt to digital transformation, and the journey we're undertaking. So a lot of my examples and my slides is the journey that my team is taking and Reliance is taking. But I'm sure it'll give you some insights, into that as consultants and providers. And also, folks who are here like me, as part of the buying part, will also get an insight into that. So very quickly, the big challenge. This is a very recent survey of CPOs, that's Chief Procurement Officers, globally by Deloitte. And you see all the factors that are important to them currently. None of them is digital. None of them is actually even technology. So this is your average CPO of a company, a big company, small company, still driven by cost reduction, managing risks, new product development, all the basic things that they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the basic foundation of what procurement teams require is still the same. And what's happened is the areas of focus are again pretty much the same. I mean, after a day and a half of technology and digital, you'd be shocked to see consolidating spend is the highest sort of area of focus of a CPO in 2017, globally, not India. The increasing competition, which is getting, I mean, in a world which is with Google, and you can reach, any kind of supplier through any means, and there are solutions out there to help you sort through and simplify how to search for a supplier. Consolidating and driving competition among suppliers is number 2. So this is the reality of the world. There's a lot of discussions on technology, digital, but the focus of chief procurement officers remains the same on what it was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But what they do recognize is that the world is changing. It's a VUCA world. That's a much abused word, well understood. I won't go into explaining that. But given the uncertainty of the world, risk management becomes very important. Agility becomes very important. And what companies are trying to do is to focus on technology as a solution to mitigate that. So while they will focus on, spend management and driving spend reduction and savings, they would use it through higher means of technology, primarily because uncertainty and, volatility, complexity has become very high. And if you look here, it's again a bit of a surprise, right? Analytics has stopped there, which is wonderful. But the next two are, again, still focusing on tools that procurement teams use, either to support sourcing or to drive operations. And then you see digital out there, which is cutting edge or driving new sources of technology to change the world. So that's the challenge all of you as providers and some of us as buyers face,